Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I'm Michael Pinter. I hope you can hear me, where I teach you how to start flipping and wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So I got a question. If I'm a single man operation and I have $10,000 to spend, what should I spend my marketing money on? So in summary, it's going to be the same as if you had no money. I get asked a lot, what do you do if I have no money? $10,000 is not going to make that much of a difference to me. So the basic steps that I tell people who have no money are to buy a list, either with a prop stream subscription or from Listability, and to then skip trace the list to get phone numbers. Together, those things should cost somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500, and then to call the list. So again, I believe firmly when you're starting out that cold calling is going to be the best way to market, because it's going to allow you to have the most conversations with sellers. And the more conversations you have with sellers, the better you are. Even though, for sure, without a doubt, a lot of those conversations are going to be negative. But the quicker you build up a resistance to people rejecting you, the better off you are as a wholesaler slash flipper. At this point in my career, and even years before, I've had so much rejection it bounces off me. I don't care about it. And you're always going to have that. It never goes away. You know, we think we're going to buy some magic list where everybody there is going to want to sell, but the truth is a lot of people are going to not want to sell. And the quicker you build up that resistance, you get enough no's and people telling you much no in a very, very negative way, the better off you are. So here's what I would do. I would spend that $1,000 to $1,500 to get a list, and then I would absolutely pay for a predictive dialing system. So either Call Tools or Mojo or Ready Mode, which used to be Zen Call, and I would call that list. And I would call that list for 16 hours a week. So even if you have a full-time job, I would call 3 hours a day weekdays. That takes you to 10 hours, and then 2 hours a day on weekdays, which takes you to 10 hours, and then 3 hours a day on weekends. That'll take you to 16 hours. After you get decent on the phone, should get you 2 leads a week. Right? Every 8 hours of calling should get you a lead. Overall, it's not going to be exact. That's what I would do. I would not spend money. I would not commit to mail, because you need to mail any list a bunch of times, and you're not going to have the money to do that. Mail prices keep going up as postage keeps going up. And every other way of getting leads is more of a cop-out, and that you don't have to talk to people. So people say, oh, I want to text, I want to text. People want to text because they don't want to have a difficult conversations on the phone with sellers. You want to have those difficult conversations as soon as possible, so that you get better, and so that you build up a resistance, as I said, to all the people that are going to tell you to drop dead. Now I think I can have a better conversation. The jets went off in this hot tub. So that's what I would recommend. I would recommend cold calling. Now, if you have extra money, after you cold call for a month or two, and you're decent at it, or at least you know enough to know the difference between a good call and a bad call, you can then outsource the cold calling to someone in probably the Philippines, maybe Mexico or Egypt, but someone who speaks English well, and you can outsource the calling to them so they can make more calls and you can get more leads. That's really what I would say. I would recommend spending your money on if you have zero, or if you have a few $1,000s, right? With zero, I'm going to say don't outsource the cold calling yet. I would say do it yourself until, for a long time. But if you have somebody, you can outsource the cold calling, so you don't need to do it, and you can pay somebody to do it to you for 40 hours a week for a relatively inexpensive amount of money. That's it. I mean, if you're in an area where bandit signs are not around, maybe you want to try bandit signs because they're cheap. But all the other ways, even bandit signs are. Cold calling is going to make you better at what you do, because cold calling is going to allow you to have a lot more conversations with sellers. And conversations with sellers and figuring out what a good seller is from a bad seller is something you can only get from experience. So cold calling allows you to get that experience. What else should we talk about now? That's pretty much what I got. It's the same recommendation I would recommend for somebody who has no money. The difference with somebody who has $10,000, I'd say, with somebody with no money, I'd say you have to think about whether you want to spend the $100, $120 a month on a predictive dialing system. If you have $10,000, absolutely spend that money on a predictive dialing system. And I'd say you can, maybe 3 or 4 months in, you can hire somebody, a VA in the Philippines or somewhere else to do it. If you don't have any money, then you want to push those things off a little longer. But that's the basic gist of it. I wouldn't recommend anything different. Maybe keep a few $1,000s just in case you do get a deal and you want to put a $5,000 EMD, an earnest money deposit down on a deal. You won't even have to get it from anywhere else. So having that money is useful. And that's it. Coming back to New York tomorrow. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in finding out more about a study at home program I have, go to How to Flip New York course, courc.com. If you are interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the algorithm and let more people see my videos. So thank you very much for everyone who's been liking them. And please keep the comments coming. This came from a comment. I post 5 times a week. I don't always know what to say. Your comments really give me information on what you want to, on what questions you want answered. You can ask any question. It does not have to be about the video you're watching. And if it's a simple answer, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something that I've covered recently, I will send you a link to a video on it. And if it's something that I haven't covered in a while or I've never covered, I will do a brand new video on it like I did today. So thank you very, very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it.